So I have to rescue this door because when renovation begins, if I don't take this door down, my builder could accidentally just throw it into the skip. I want to keep this glass panel door and I have some inspiration. So I think I want to try an experiment and see if I can make a Victorian, ooh la la, style door. I have a nasty confession. There's no judgment on this channel. Don't ever do this. Don't paint the hinges. Because what happens is the paint can get in. So I've just obviously, I'm going to hand turn the screws out with a screwdriver because there is too much torque in my power tool and I risk wrecking the head of the screw. If you can see it here. So don't paint over, just remove them, remove the door. This was just a lazy man's job. I'll see if I have some stripper and I'll see if I can pop those hinges into it. But now I have to carefully try and remove these so that the screws don't, they don't get all, you know when screws go all flat from putting too much pressure on them? Yeah, and the same up here. So this is not, well, I don't think it is. I don't think these are the fixtures where you can lift the door up and over and they slide off. Well, if they are, I have painted over them. With some doors you can, there's like a thing and you can just lift them up and over. Also, while we're sharing our dirty secrets, here is the dusty. The dusty. We all got the dusty. That's what happens when you have doors that have the paneling on them. Anyway, I'm going to past me did not do future me a service. Now, just a little FYI, if you've never taken a door off before, they are surprisingly heavy. And I think it's obviously to do with the fireproofing or whatever. But doors are heavy and I highly recommend having a second pair of hands. Did I have a second pair of hands today? No, I didn't. And I also was conscious of if I let the door drop in any way, I could smash my glass panels. So do as I say and not as I do. This door is hanging on by the strength of the paint on both ends. There is absolutely nothing holding this in, only the paint on that hinges. Good old satin wood. I'm going to whack it with a hammer and yeah, I could use some heat on it to melt the paint, but I'm just going to whack it. If you find yourself with stuck hinges like that, I actually found using a chisel was the best for sticking in and going like that, and it popped off. So now, also for anybody new, this will be gone, so I don't mind wrecking it. So this doorway will be gone and this wall will be opening up, but I wanted to save that door, so let us go. I would like to have that door here, but I have a privacy thingy that I'm going to stick on that I think you guys will like. But before I do that, I need to make sure that the door will fit. So I have one of those glass doors here at the living room. And my regular viewers will know I'm always trying, because I have an awkward like hallway, I have a weird layout in my house, so I'm always trying to let in as much light as I can. And if you saw the stairway makeover, you'll know that I added the light up here, and it is really grey today, but it's looking quite bright, and I'm going to be so happy when that wall comes down and this is all opened up. But anyway, before I do that, I need to make sure that the door is going to fit, because I may need to plane the door. So it would be a great day for me if my door just fit. But chances are I may have to plane it, or there's a chance that it could be too small, and then I don't know what we're going to do there. We ain't got no video for today. So I'm going to remove this door and surprise, surprise, painted hinges. Painted hinges. We all have our crimes, but my crime is painting hinges. But if you come here for a minute, look what I found in my box. Oh, hang on. Apologies if my camera is a bit shaky. It's my heavier camera. Oh, come on, my friend. Open up. Look. Look at these big, thick hinges. Now, I will try and salvage the old ones. But look where did I get these? And I have got a pair. I could put new hinges on. I could. I might just do that. But yeah, I don't know if these are maybe too big, but I have found hinges. While I was looking for my chisel, I found hinges. So these are actually really good hinges. Oh, I am embarrassed for myself, but listen, this is how we learn. I'm going to see if I actually don't think I have, I think I do have paint stripper, but it's eco stuff. So I might see if it works. I could possibly peel it off as well. Yeah, there's a chance I could just scrape this off. I'm definitely going to salvage these, and they already fit the door, and actually I like that they're a bit antique brassy looking. So don't paint your hinges, don't paint your hinges. That should be a song. So I originally got the door that I'm fixing up today from B&Q, and it was about a decade ago, and it was a bargain because I think it was only like €80, and I wanted to add, so when I first moved into the house I had all of just these like normal doors, no glass panels, and to let more light in, because when I came home and if the doors were closed there was zero light getting into the hallway, so I added glass panel doors. So I got 2 of them. I think at the time they were €80 each. Now, something I learned, and some people were probably like, duh, did you not know that? But when you buy a door, I just assumed it would fit. But I remember at the time I got the doors fitted and they had to be like planed, and also where the hinges go, that had to be chiseled out, and also where your handle goes, a hole had to be made for that. So when you buy the door off the shelf, it doesn't have all those, you know, pre-drilled things. Well, at least these ones didn't at the time. It could be different now. So it had to be chiseled, and it also had to be planed. So obviously wood will expand and contract. That's what she said. And you have to allow for that. So if your door is getting stuck, it may need to just have a couple of millimeters planed off it. So yeah, if you are doing a DIY job and fitting a door yourself, just bear that in mind. Now, if you get a second-hand door, Max Salvage in Dublin has a whole door section. I have a thrifted video on Max Salvage. So you might get something that will fit a bit better, or at least it already has, you know, the hinges and the handles and things like that. So you may just have to plane it to size to fit. But yeah, I just assumed all doors fit everywhere, which that could be a bit naive or inexperienced, but I had that assumption. So that is why before I paint this door, I'm checking to see, will it fit perfect? Do I need to trim or plane? Because obviously if I've painted this and then I want to take off a few millimeters, I'm going to wreck my paint job. But thankfully this looks like it's actually going to fit perfect. Now the door prep, it's not going to be the funnest of jobs, but something I have learned over the years is if you rush a job, it's going to look more amateur DIY than if you can give some time to attention to detail. And a good paint job where you haven't painted the handles accidentally will look way more expensive and high-end than a slapdash job. And there's no judgment here because a lot of us watching this video are time poor. I get it. I have been and I still am that person. You're working full time. You come home, you want a weekend project. You don't want to spend the whole weekend painting a skirting board or a door. So you whack on 2 coats and off you go. They're fresh for another year. But after a while, you see the little painted hinges or some paint on the glass and bubbles, and it just starts to annoy you. Or if you're like me, it starts to annoy you. So a good prep really is key. Do I take my doors off to paint them? Absolutely not. This is the first time I've ever taken a door off the hinges to paint it. But you do get a much neater finish. It's also less taxing on the body. So while initially they're heavy to take down, you're not squatting the paint squat or overreaching or overstraining yourself trying to cut into the corners up high. So if you do have someone who can help you take off a door, and also those woodwork legs, I just got them, I think they were Amazon. I'll see if I can try find a link. I got them a couple of years ago and I swear by them. You can make your own little work table with them and they fold up really handy so you can pop them into the shed so they don't take up much space. So I'm going to be sanding any areas of the old paint because obviously if you're painting a door that is up vertical, so you haven't taken it off, sometimes you might get some drips if the paint has gone on too thick, especially down at the bottom. You might get a build up of thick paint. So that happened in a couple of areas for me, but overall, I mean, my paint job wasn't too bad on these, so I'm just sanding back any areas where there's like excess paint. So while I was waiting for a rain shower to pass over, I put those hinges in a bath of methylated spirits. So I did have some like eco cleaner, which is more like a paste, but I didn't have enough. So I just had an old like lunchbox and I decided to just leave them steep in this. Now I did share a reel on Instagram and someone said that they saw a video where someone used an old slow cooker to heat up hinges that had paint on them and it just peeled off. So that could be an option. Someone else suggested boiling water. Apparently the boiling water will just lift it off. I saw these comments after I had posted that reel, so I didn't get a chance to experiment with that, but there's some options for you. I began using my wire brush and then I changed to some wire wool and that was great. So if you have paint that's in the teeny tiny screw holes and the brush can't get it out, then wire wool is great. And also I'm sure an old toothbrush would work for this as well. I left them steeping for about an hour, so while I was prepping the door for the paint, they were just sitting there chilling, bubbling up, doing their thing. Now I did run out of some Rub and Buff, so I had a really old tube of Rub and Buff and I don't know why I thought it wouldn't have dried up at this stage, and I was going to just use it on the metal because you can see that it's got a bit of like stain to it and not the kind of nice antique patina stain, so I ended up just using a bit of polish on it. But I think I'm going to get a new tube of Rub and Buff and just give them the once over with that. Now, when it comes to the paint colour, there is a very subtle change, but I need to have a rant about grey. So in the kitchen, you probably noticed there's like a grey tone, and I just really don't like it. I've come to the conclusion that the grey trend and the greyish trend, if there's a cool undertone to it, because Ireland, the sky as I was painting this was grey, I just want a warmer colour. So if you followed videos on the channel for a while, I have some antique cream in the living room, and I just like how it's a neutral, but it's a warm neutral. So this door in that bedroom as well, if you saw, I think it was early last year, there was like a wallpaper and a colour change, and the paneling at the bottom is antique cream. So I'm going to do the door in the same shade. I'm not sure yet what colour the hallway is going to be. At the minute the walls are just white, but I do think I'm going to paint them the same shade as what the kitchen is going to be. And again, it's going to be a warm neutral. The grey tone that's in my kitchen, it's actually Benjamin Moore Pale Oak. But I think it's the angle of this room, because the IKEA unit, the IKEA wall hack thing that I did, that's in pale oak, and it looks, because it's at a different end of the room and the way the light hits it, it looks way warmer on the far right of the room, but to the left everything looks more cool and grey toned. And when I look back on the camera, it just looks very cool, and I really want the warmer, cozier kind of vibe. I love the coffee colours as well, but I find it so hard. I've gotten so many samples over the years and it still looks really grey in my room. So I'm going to go for things that are a bit more warmer, like maybe more of a yellow undertone to it compared to like a blue undertone. We're in our cozy lady era. And also, because half of the year pretty much can be quite dark in Ireland, so from the clocks changing in October up until March, obviously we have shorter days, and we also have more grey days and rainy days. So I want to have a bright neutral, but something that is just a tone warmer and less blue. But I think that's great. Like, it's great to learn these things about your house and to almost make the mistakes, although they can be costly. But listen, picking the wrong paint colour is not as bad as picking, the wrong floor, let's say. But yeah, trendy grey is not for me. Unfortunately, it makes me feel sad and cold. We are about to get into the fun part of this project, which is going to bring it to life and hopefully make it look like a stained glass window. But before we go out and do the fun stuff, this video is sponsored by Craftsy. You may have seen Craftsy before on the channel, and yes, I am back with a really good offer. But something I get asked a lot is, so obviously I'm a bit of a jack of all trades. I like to dip my toe in many a craft, whether it's woodworking, sewing, a bit of painting, gardening. And I often get asked about doing classes. And now coming into autumn is a great time to take up and try a new skill. Now, if you're new to Craftsy and you've never heard of them before, Craftsy is your go-to online resource for all things creative. So whether you're into knitting, crochet, painting, baking, even cake decorating, there really is something for everyone. With over 2,000 classes taught by expert instructors, it is the perfect place to learn at your very own pace. Now, you guys know I love woodwork, and I have done woodworking classes in the past before. But like that, there's always going to be gaps in your learning, and one thing that I wanted to learn more on was woodworking. So I was delighted to find loads of woodworking classes by George Von Driske. Apologies if I'm saying that surname wrong. One of my favorite classes that he has is all about wood class. So this chats about man-made materials from plywood to MDF to where to buy quality materials. If you find a tutor that you do like on Craftsy, you can just scroll down and usually there'll be other classes from that teacher. So George has loads of woodworking classes, so I have a whole school lesson that I can work my way through. So whatever your hobby of choice, there is a class for you, and it's a nice way to dip your toe into something without doing the crafter's urge to go all in on a project and then you spend a fortune and then it ends up sitting in your craft stash. Why not take a class on something as a taster and see if it's something that you want to kind of go further with. So there's so many classes that you can do that with on Craftsy. Now, one of the things that I really enjoy about Craftsy is the community element of it. So it's not just about your classes. You can connect with fellow makers, you can share ideas, and you can stay inspired with new content being added all of the time. And here is the best part. For $1.49, the first 1,000 people to click the link in the description and in the comment section will get a full year of Craftsy Premium for $1.49. And this offer is open for new members only. So if you've ever wanted to learn a new skill, just get a taster for something, or like me, if you have a little bit of gaps in your knowledge and you just want to see how other people do things, then check out the offer and let me know how you get on. And now to install the thing that is going to make these glass windows look, hopefully, like fancy stained glass Victorian-esque vibe doors. I bought these vinyls from a UK company who specialise in them, and I don't know how I stumbled across them. I think I saw Luke. If you follow Luke Haitley, if you watch Mr. Carton, you'll know who Luke is, and I think he used it on a project. So I had a look on their website now. If you are ordering from Ireland, you will have to use AddressPal. So they don't ship to Ireland. So it cost me an extra €10 to get it delivered to my house. So if you are ordering from Ireland, that is so annoying. But I used the On Post AddressPal. And I think there was also a customs charge as well. So good old Brexit. Thanks for that. These are really easy to install. You spray it with some, it does say to use water and dish soap, but I actually just use my water and vinegar spray cleaning bottle, and that just worked perfectly. So you make sure that both sides are nice and moist, and then you push out the water, which is very, very satisfying to do. Now, when I first placed my order, the company, they did actually get it wrong, but they realized it before I noticed, and they sent me out a new one. So I do have two smaller panels of this stained glass vinyl, but they don't fit anything. But I'm going to hang on to them because you never know when I might use them. I think something like this is nice if you're like upcycling a cabinet or something. There's an idea for someone. It could be nice if you're upcycling an old piece of furniture that has glass in it. And they're relatively inexpensive. I think these were £40. So to get that stained glass effect, I feel like this would also be really nice on a front door as well. I need to ring my brother to get one of my brothers to come and lift this door with me because it's freshly painted and I don't want to drag it in. What is he going to answer? Take bets in the comment section. Oh, I'm video chatting. No answer. He hung up on me. He hung up. Oh, he hung up on me. Because he knows I only call when I need something lifted. I could put a blanket on the ground and drag it in, but I'm going to chip my fresh paint. This was not ideal. But I'm impatient. Okay. This will hopefully yoga does the time. all we have. Okay. This is gonna work. Oh, genius! There's so good. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Steer from the rear. Steer. Steer from the rear. Seriously, Bjorn now. It's not the time. I gotta navigate this bend. Oh, the ladder's here. Oh, the ladder. Why are you in my way? Hang on. Oh, it's a tight corner. Bjorn. I actually think Bjorg is trying to help me, or else she's watching to see if I do something silly. Yes, Bjorg. You push, Bjorg, instead of looking at me. Okay, what way am I going? This way. I think I have a problem. So when that was on that wall, it opened up that way. My hinges are here. What is this not making sense in my head? Yeah, I have a problem. You see this hinge? Sorry, the lighting is getting a bit dark. You have a bit of wood at the front, hinge at the back. This one here was on the other way, so you've got, it's been planed right to the front, no gap at the back. Because it opened, let me see, when it was in the kitchen, it opened that way with the hinges on this side. So I'm sticking the door this way and I want it to open that way. So these bits, let me show you. So this needs to be further back. Always at the final hurdle, the final reveal, it's not happening. It's not happening. So what I need to do with this is, because I'm sure you're thinking, hey, just stick that hinge on and make a dodgy new hole. I need to carve out with my chisel the last bit of section, but then when you close when the door's open, you'll see this bit, which we can take the look off with a bit of filler and paint. Why you gotta do this? Cause she's looking so good. I'm after spend. I've made things worse. Of course I have. I'm after getting a screw stuck into the hinge, and I got the rage and I bore the screw head. So I'm gonna have to take my rage out on it. Maybe I'll hammer it out. So I'm gonna have to sleep on this because I'm losing light. There's no point filming and I'm getting agitated. And what happens when we get agitated during a project? We undo our good work and make a bigger mistake. But I think I may have to get some help on this, because yeah, the hinges, obviously the configuration was for the other door, so I need to problem solve this. I'm going to message one of my friends who has a friend that's a carpenter and just ask me, and I also think I have something in my finger that I just can't see. Oh no. Yeah, this is, either that needs to go in. See, the door fits perfect because it's the same size as the other one, thickness and everything. It's just this. But that didn't change. This changed on this door. See, I didn't check this when I was measuring. We're gonna pause. Can I leave it undone? No. It is lovely glass though, isn't it? Like, it looks beautiful. And it's gonna look really nice if I could just get my shit together. Now, some of you might be wondering, what is the privacy like on the door? So, you can definitely, I suppose, see shadows, but I don't think it's like too bad. What can you see? So you can see the shadows, and I'm like pressed against it. So I don't think it's like too bad, and still lets in light, so it's not as see-through as I thought. So yeah, I love the film. I think it is really nice. Now what you could do, and I do have an older video where I made one, but it was for a cabinet, is a little curtain on the back. So a little brass rod, and on the inside, like if this was, you know, a living room door, but just because this is a spare bedroom, if someone is staying, I want them to feel, you know, extra private. So you could put a little curtain on the back, and then you could just pull it across. They're really easy to make as well. So you could do sheer, I think a little curtain at the back. Also the door is only, it's not on, it's floating, because I need to get some help to stick it on. But I put the hardware and everything back on so that you could see the door. Granted, it's not functioning at the minute, but I didn't want this to be a total DIY fail. You'll just have to come back for next week's video or a future video to see. Of course, I'll get it put on the door. I just need some help. And yeah, I needed to end this video, so there's the old door. Really like the vinyl, and thankfully I don't think it was another DIY fail. The sunlight comes in here in the morning, and when the sunlight hits it, it's really, really pretty, and you do get a little kind of speckledy effect. I'll try and get a sunshine shot for a future video. So yeah, I'm liking them. That's enough for today. If you would like to catch up on any of the videos from the renovation series, then head on over to the DIY Diary playlist. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see future videos. And if you'd like to watch the videos ad-free, you can check out the member playlist, where there is also the Q&A videos, the juicy Q&A videos as well. So you can click join to also become a member and support the channel for the price of a coffee. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.